Do you ever have a tough morning? I had a tough morning this morning. I don't know, it just seemed really like there was just this cloud hanging over me. And I just had to really press in and just find God this morning, connect with Him. And it was like He was there waiting for me, but I had all this junk in the way. And I just had to push it aside and really press into Him. And then things started to get better. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you're there today. Maybe today is like that for you, or another day. But I just want to encourage you to know that God answers our prayer, and God hears us when we pray. And that leads me to our verse today, which is in Psalms 4, verse 1. It says, "Answer me when I call to you, O my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Be merciful to me and hear my prayer." And that's what I needed this morning. I needed for God to give me relief from my distress and to be merciful to me and hear my prayer. Hey, I just wanted to encourage you to let you know that God hears us when we pray. Welcome to the channel. By the way, I wanted to say that we're here to give you encouragement, but we want to let you know that God has a plan and a purpose for your life, and to be about doing that and help you define what that is, and to know that it is important what you have to do this day. It might be praying for you or praying for someone. Your prayers matter. Your life matters. What you have to do matters. And who you are to become matters to God. And it matters to us. So we just want to welcome you. Just to expand a little bit, sometimes it takes time to get the answer to the prayer. And sometimes we may not like the answer to the prayer. It's often, as people say, God may answer your prayer yes or no, or wait a while. There is a passage in the Bible that talks about that an angel came to answer a prayer. And he told the person who prayed and said that God heard you when you prayed the first time. Now this person obviously had been praying many times since then, over and over again. But he heard him the first time. And the angel said, and he dispensed me to come and answer your prayer, but it took me 3 weeks to get here. I had this revelation when I was pondering this passage, and I was actually listening to another teaching, and it occurred to me something. The dark forces were fighting the angel, and the angel had to get through that realm, through that area, through whatever, to get to the person. And that thought, it came to me so clear that when we pray, our prayers go up to God. And they're unhindered. It's like the prayers get through. It's like they're small, they slip through, they can't be stopped. So God hears us when we pray. And so sometimes there's dark forces at foot. Many times, most times. Satan has a plan and is trying to thwart good and what God has for us. And God will always turn that around and use what is meant for evil for good for those who love Him. Why? Why do we know that? Because His Word says so. And so we can trust everything His Word says. I'm just going to go through and read the whole chapter of 4 in Psalms. It's very short. I'll start with the first verse again. It says, "Answer me when I call to you, O my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Be merciful to me and hear my prayer." And we know that God is hear our prayer. "How long, O men, will you turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? Know that the Lord has set apart the godly for Himself. The Lord will hear when I call to Him. The Lord will hear when I call to Him." "In your anger do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent. Offer right sacrifices and trust in the Lord. Many are asking, who can show us any good? Let the light of your face shine upon us, O Lord. You have filled my heart with greater joy Then when their grain and new wine abound, I will lie down and sleep in peace, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Wow. How long, O men, will you turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? That's part of why I was kind of like that this morning a little bit, because of a movie I saw yesterday, and then it reminded me of the trip that we took to Hollywood, and how when we were there, how things, it was interesting. It's you think of it very, very glitzy and glamoury, but it's not at all glitzy and glamour. Anyway, I'm not sure I said that right. And actually, it's a very dirty and seedy place, and you can feel the oppression. You can feel the sin in the area when you're there. And actually, it's funny that we were there, and I was there with my daughter, and at one point, she turned to me and said something that is exactly what I was thinking. And she just said how, gee, everything is so fake here. And I thought, that's right. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's so fake. And a little bit you expect it to be fake, because you always get whatever's in front of the camera, right, is what you see. You don't see all the thing behind it. But they present it as so glitzy and glamoury. It's like if you've been to Las Vegas or someplace like that, and all the lights and the glamour and the glitz that they try and portray. But when you really focus, you really look at what's there, you see all the oppression, all the sin. You can feel how people are in bondage, whether it be to gambling or to drink or to some other vice or to lust, the things that they just seem to feed off of there. And it's like you can feel the evil in these places. So, how long will we love delusion and seek false gods? You see that in the days of Moses, when the Israelites, they had seen so much of God's deliver them from Egypt. They'd seen the plagues. They walked through the parting of the Red Sea, and they walked on dry land. And yet still, what did they say? God goes up the mountain. They say, oh, God's never, or they say, Moses is never coming down. Here, make us a calf so we can worship it. So we can worship. Make us a golden calf. Make us this idol out of gold so we can worship. They had seen all these miracles. They had God there in the presence, His presence on the mountaintop, coming in the clouds, and fire by night, and all these things. And yet, they turned to a false god. They wanted something that they could hold and touch. And how many times is that us? That we are looking for something to replace God with. Something that we can hold on to. It may be TV, watching too much TV. It may be food. I just heard somebody talking about that, was it this morning or yesterday, about gluttony. And I thought, as I was eating a little snack a little while ago, and thought, gee, I wasn't even that hungry. But because it was there. And I thought, why did I do that? I didn't even really want that. And then it tasted so good, I had a little bit more, and I was thinking, well, why? We could all examine our own lives, right? Know that the Lord has set apart the godly for Himself. So are we going to be the godly? We have to allow God to do that work in us to make us godly. The Lord will hear when I call to Him. So we live a right life, righteous before God, as He makes us righteous, as we are to live. God hears our prayers. In your anger, do not sin. When you are on your bed, search your hearts and be silent. That's a time to meditate on Him. Just take some time. Sit on your bed, on the floor, wherever. Take some time and search your hearts and just be silent. Be silent before the Lord. You know, often God is answering our prayers, and He is speaking to us, and we are not listening. God speaks, and we're not listening. We say, have you ever been in a one-sided conversation? You say all the things that you have to say, and then you walk away, and that person's left standing there waiting for their turn? Have you ever been in that situation on the other end, when someone gabs and gabs and gabs and talks and talks and talks, and then you finally think it's your turn to say something, and they just walk away? Is that what we're like when we pray to God? When we talk to God and we pray, and then when He's giving us an answer and we get up and walk away, and we don't hear what He's telling us? It can be hard to hear Him sometimes. Sometimes you can hear an audible voice, and don't you just hear it in a thought in your head? Sometimes you read the Word, and you pray, and you get something that you've spoken through, or something that moves you through the Scriptures. Sometimes God speaks to me in metaphors. I'm a real movie guy, and so I have learned to look at movies with a certain eye to see what they are saying in these metaphors. And then I started noticing in life sometimes I see the same kind of thing happening, metaphors. And I think, is it God speaking to me? And sometimes it is. Anyway, offer right sacrifices and trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord. Many are asking, who can show us any good? Let the light of your face shine upon us, O Lord. Let your light shine upon us. We should reflect His light. We should be a light into the world as His light bounces off of us. As the light, Jesus was the light of the world, but when He went away, He said that we would be the light of the world. So let that light reflect off of us. Let Jesus come inside our lives. Let us beam out with light. You have filled my heart with greater joy than when their grain and new wine abound. So He fills our heart with great joy, and I will lie down and sleep in peace. For You alone, O God, make me dwell in safety. Well, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified of new videos, and leave comments below. I'm going to leave you with a thought of the day. Oh, this is a good one. If you're not failing, then you're not trying. If you're not failing, then you're not trying. See you next time.